The disappearance of a young girl in a quiet town caused a huge public outcry. At the scene of the disappearance, there were no clues, and the case remained unsolved for about 500 days until the criminal struck again. Diana Quer was born in 1998 in Madrid, the capital of Spain. She had a sister named Valeria. Diana's family was wealthy and respected. Her father was involved in the automobile business. After finishing school, Diana took her first steps in the modeling world and dreamed of becoming a model. In 2013, after 15 years of marriage, her parents divorced, which was a difficult experience for the daughters. The separation was not amicable. There were long legal battles over child custody and property division. In the end, the mother gained custody of the girls, while the father was allowed to take them on weekends and holidays. They often traveled to a small town called Pobra do Caramiñal, with a population of less than 10,000 people, where the father owned a house. Diana loved spending weekends there. The time with her father was always pleasant, and both daughters enjoyed it. Eventually, the parents reconciled, and the mother began joining them for vacations. On August 20, 2016, the mother, Diana, and Valeria went to the father's house in Pobra do Caramiñal. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Around 10 p.m. on August 21st, Diana told her mother she was going to the local cultural park to meet some friends and celebrate a festival. Trusting the safety of the town, the mother let her go. Diana had been visiting the town since she was 3 years old and knew it well. That evening, 18-year-old Diana did attend the festival and met up with 3 friends. However, around 2:30 a.m., she said goodbye to them and headed home, but she was never seen alive again. In the morning, Diana didn't show up. This was completely out of character for her. Her mother tried to call her, but Diana's phone was turned off. She had never disappeared for so long before and always answered her calls. The phone calls went unanswered, and the parents grew worried, reporting Diana's disappearance to the police. They insisted that the 18-year-old could not have just run away or disappeared voluntarily. Her life was going well, and she had no reasons to leave her family. Moreover, her belongings, documents, cards, and money were left behind at the house. Diana only had about 20 euros with her. The parents feared something bad had happened. The police immediately began searching for her. Detectives questioned Diana's friends who were at the party, but none of them knew where she had gone after they said goodbye that night. The investigators found that Diana's phone had been switched off, making it impossible to trace her location, but they were able to determine her last known geolocation. It was along the promenade on the way home from the party. Detectives walked the entire possible route Diana could have taken and focused their search near the spot where her phone was last detected. They brought in tracking dogs, and eventually, investigators found a strand of hair that Diana's parents later identified as hers. However, no other important evidence was found. Police began searching for potential witnesses and surveillance cameras in the area. Unfortunately, there were no security cameras nearby. The location was deserted, poorly lit, and close to an abandoned warehouse and a half-ruined nightclub. Diana's father's house was still about a 10 to 15-minute walk away. One witness claimed to have seen a girl resembling Diana talking to a man late at night. He thought they knew each other. Another person reported seeing a suspicious gray Alfa Romeo car leaving the area around 3 a.m. Police searched for leads to identify the man. Meanwhile, Diana's family distributed missing posters and posted her pictures on social media, hoping someone would come forward with information. Investigators learned from one of Diana's friends that they had been texting during the night. Diana mentioned she felt scared walking home because a man was following her. The last message she sent said the man had called out to her. After that, she stopped responding. Police leaned toward the theory that Diana had been kidnapped. Rumors quickly spread in the town, suggesting Diana had run away with a Moroccan man or that she had returned home, packed her things, and left. However, her parents denied these rumors, pointing out that Diana's clothes, documents, and bank cards were untouched. Other rumors surfaced about family problems. Some claimed Diana frequently fought with her mother and sister, and that the conflict sometimes escalated into physical fights. It was even said that Diana had once run away and wanted to live with her father. However, her parents denied these allegations as well. Under the pressure of constant rumors and the stress of Diana's disappearance, both her mother and sister suffered nervous breakdowns. Their mental health worsened, and they were hospitalized in a psychiatric clinic for treatment. On October 28, 2016, a fisherman found an iPhone 6 in a river near a bridge. It turned out to be Diana's phone, and someone had tried to hack into it. The investigation reached a dead end. Police pursued every lead, including rumors, but found nothing substantial. They even investigated Diana's parents and sister for possible involvement, but they were quickly cleared of any suspicion. Diana's whereabouts remained unknown, and about 200 suspects from the area were questioned by authorities. In that area, authorities focused on individuals with a criminal history. Their attention was drawn to one man whose car matched the description provided by a witness who had seen a suspicious vehicle near the location where Diana disappeared. Additionally, his phone records showed he had been in that area, and later near the bridge where Diana's phone was found. This was unlikely to be a coincidence. The suspect was 41-year-old José Enrique Abuín. He was married, had a daughter, and worked at a fish canning factory. His wife provided an alibi, claiming he was with her on the night Diana disappeared. José had prior criminal convictions for drug trafficking and domestic violence, and he lived close to the river where Diana's phone had been found. However, since there was no concrete evidence against him, the police could not arrest him, but they continued to view him as their prime suspect. On December 25, 2017, an 18-year-old girl, whose name was withheld, called the police to report an attack by a stranger. She had been walking alone in the evening when a man approached her, threatened her with a knife, and demanded her phone. When she resisted and screamed for help, the man tried to force her into the trunk of a gray Alfa Romeo. Two passing men intervened, scaring the attacker away. The police arrived quickly, and both the girl and the witnesses provided descriptions of the attacker. Importantly, they also remembered the license plate number of his car. Through this, investigators confirmed that the car belonged to José Enrique Abuín, the same man who had been the prime suspect in Diana's case, though his wife's alibi had protected him at the time. Interestingly, the girl who was attacked looked very similar to Diana Quer. Police summoned José's wife for further questioning. They told her about the recent attack where witnesses directly identified José. Faced with this evidence, the wife recanted her previous testimony and admitted she had lied. She had originally covered for him because she believed he could never do such a thing. She confessed that on the night of Diana's disappearance, José had left home around 10 p.m. and returned early in the morning, without explaining where he had been. Therefore, José had no alibi. On December 29, 2017, almost 500 days after Diana disappeared, José was arrested. The police told him the evidence against him was overwhelming. Initially, José confessed to being involved in Diana's death, but claimed it was an accident. He said he had accidentally hit her with his car while distracted by changing the music. Fearing prison, he panicked and decided to dispose of her body. No one believed this version of events. Later, José offered a new story. He claimed he had gone out at night intending to steal fuel from other cars when Diana passed by and saw him. She allegedly threatened to call the police. According to him, he panicked, attacked her, and suffocated her. Again, the investigators found this version unbelievable. It made little sense that a girl would confront a stranger in a deserted area at night. Moreover, even if his story were true, it did not explain his attack on the second girl a year later, who had not threatened him in any way. José had no explanation for that assault. On December 31, 2017, José led the police to the crime scene. A reconstruction was conducted. He showed them how he had transported Diana's body to an abandoned warehouse located about 15 kilometers from where he had abducted her. There, he had dumped her body into a 10-meter deep well. Afterward, he returned to his car, grabbed Diana's purse containing sunglasses, earphones, earrings, and makeup, and threw them into the well, along with his own clothes. José had been afraid that traces of Diana's DNA might remain on him or in the car. Later, he returned to check the body and saw that it had floated to the surface. He then pulled it out. He tied 20-kilogram bricks to her body, which dragged her down to the bottom of the well. Investigators were puzzled by how José could have moved around the warehouse in complete darkness, carried the victim down a narrow and uncomfortable staircase, and thrown her into the well. There was no electricity in the building. Later, it was discovered that José knew the warehouse and the well very well. A thorough cleaning had been carried out at the scene using bleach, an attempt by José to erase any traces of the crime. At the bottom of the well, more bricks were found, along with Diana's handbag, pieces of tape, and other evidence. From the well, they retrieved Diana's naked, bound body. After 500 days in water, it was in poor condition. Police also found zip ties entangled in Diana's hair, suggesting they had been used to strangle her. Despite the poor condition of the body, the forensic expert was able to determine that Diana had been strangled because her hyoid bone was broken. The unusual positioning of her body indicated that she had been tortured. José had done something else to the girl, but it was unclear exactly what. It was presumed that Diana had been sexually assaulted due to the severe swelling in her genital area. Thus, the motive for the attack was determined to be sexual in nature. José was charged with the murder and rape of Diana, as well as the attempted kidnapping of the second girl. The trial began in January 2018. The defendant pleaded guilty to both crimes. At the trial, José gave yet another version of events. He said he had been driving his car when he saw an attractive girl walking alone through the deserted town. He stopped, grabbed a pair of handcuffs, attacked her, and forced the handcuffs onto her before dragging her into his car. Diana continued to resist fiercely, so he began strangling her and accidentally killed her. Frightened by what he had done, he decided to dispose of her body. A psychiatric evaluation found that José had full cognitive and volitional capabilities and did not suffer from any mental illnesses. He was found to have a very low level of empathy and an inability to feel compassion for others. José never showed any remorse for the murder of Diana. Considering the second attack, where he could have killed another girl had it not been for the intervention of bystanders, just like he killed Diana, he was declared fully sane and responsible for his actions. On April 1, 2019, José was found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment, with the possibility of parole after 30 years.